Hello everyone! Hello! You guys grab your food, grab seats, grab your free books, make yourselves comfortable. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Welcome to Brick Lane's launch of the Knowing One Another project. I'm your host for this evening. My name is Farah. We're very excited about having you all here tonight. So make sure you guys all got your books. And then we've got a really good lineup for you this evening. We're going to open up with Brick Lane Circle's Mohammed Ahmadullah and Farida Kareem. They're going to tell you a little bit about the project. Then you're going to hear from the contributors to the project, and we'll have a bit of Q&A with them all. And then comes the entertainment, so the fun bit. We are very excited to have Patrick Monahan, some comedy from him. Then we're going to have a musical performance inspired by Central Asia by the London Uyghur Ensemble. We're then going to be treated to a performance by ACD Arts, and we'll be ending the evening with a classical Indian dance in the Bharatnatyam style by Asa Willoughby. So let's get started. Can I ask you guys to put your hands together and welcome Mohammed Ahmadullah and Farida Kareem to the stage.
Hello. Thank you for coming. It's really nice to see that so many people are here. I usually speak from my head and mess things up, so I can prepare something so I can say a bit more structured way. I'm really pleased that so many people are here. I'm also really happy that Farida worked so hard, and 10 volunteers worked over 6 months to produce this particular book. And tonight is really a celebration of their achievement. All the time that they gave, and it's something really wonderful. I'm just going to say a little bit about the idea behind this project. Then it will kind of make sense why we do this and why we are calling this knowing one another. We live in this society, not only in this country, but if you look across the world is becoming more and more diverse, and diversity is increasing. And since I came to London in the 70s, I've seen it's getting more and more diverse, more and more multicultural. And there's nothing we can do about it. The world is going to become more diverse, more multicultural. Some of us may not like it, and some of us may actually celebrate and really embrace it. Even if we don't like it, we can't do anything about it. So the best thing to do is actually to make it work, right? We have to make it work, right? But there are people, with prejudice, with races and all kinds of prejudice, who wants to create divisions between people, and we can't let that happen, right? Because we have to make it work, because we are in the process. There's no way going back. That's something that we have to do. But then there are positive benefits of multiculturalism and diversity. Just imagine, how much mixing, how much synthesis, how much ideas and colors and food and everything. We keep on mixing, and the life becomes more interesting and more enjoyable and more tasty, right? Why this project, right? Over the years I've been to or been part of initiatives where they try to bring different communities together to eat, dance, sing, and discuss. And sometimes there's a lot of tension in some communities, in some local places between different communities. So leaders and religious people and authorities, they try to bring people to talk to each other and try and resolve and develop better understanding. But what we thought is that we need to help. We need to go beyond what's been happening. We need to get people to know each other even more than the processes allowed so far. So the idea that we came up with is that we want people to try and, in order to understand each other, they need to understand a little bit about where they come from, country or subregions of countries. Because only then, and understanding their migration. Only then we can understand them better. Because usually, and sometimes we develop views about other people, through media and listening to prejudiced people who tell us wrong thing about other people. So unless we try to find out for ourselves, then we might still not understand our neighbors. So this is the idea behind this project. The other thing what I want to say is that how we connect, right? We connect through trade, through business, through buying and selling, friendship and so on. But what we are doing is connecting people through what is called untraded. What's it called? Untraded interdependency, I think. So you like each other. You become dependent on each other's for entertainment, culture, and all kinds of other links. So now I'm going to pass this on to Farida, who has been actually running, coordinating this project.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for coming. It means a lot. I'm not checking my phone, it's just I've got my speech on my phone. It's modern technology, so please don't be offended. I'm just going to start with the food. You've had the chance to have some samosas, some Eastern European desserts, biscuits and cakes. Thank you, Akbile, for getting those for me. You also had some Southeast Asian and Chinese sweet snacks. Now, the idea behind it was to show you how diverse London is, and it's usually through food we were able to have a really good idea and appreciate the beauty of diversity. I'm not sure if you had the chance to read the captions, but I also explained that some of the food, it actually is an influence of several different cultures coming together, and that was through things like trade. As Ahmedullah Bhai mentioned, it's through trading that you become interdependent. So for example, samosa, which is also something that I found that was a part of the Eritrean cuisine, as well as Ugandan cuisine. If you look at the book, you will actually have there's a lovely article by Katasi where she goes into detail about the East African Indian community and the Ugandan community. We're able to sort of learn from each other about cultures, about food, the culinary experience. So essentially knowing one another is about Londoners learning about other cultures, learning about others' heritage through meeting. And so if you read the articles in the book, you'll notice that the writers are not from the same community as the article that they've written about, the community they've written about. So for example, there's a wonderful map of Brick Lane, which was written by Halima, where she outlines the Jewish restaurants and shops that are here around in the 60s and prior to that. So it's a wonderful book, goes into history, goes into architecture, the culinary experience, all of which was a result of different communities coming together and coming to London and living in London. Now this project would not have been possible without the support of various different people and organisations. So I do want to thank Big Lottery Fund for funding this project. Because of the funding, we were able to get the food, but also do the recruitment, run the whole project, able to support the volunteers in terms of meeting the participants. Now, participants is also one of the main reasons why this project was possible. So I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who actually participated, the interviewees. I've got Akil here, who's been interviewed by Rubia, where he kind of shares a really interesting, really beautiful story about his experience as a new arrival to London. Also have some young people. I've been so busy I didn't get to see them, but we've got young people from a school in East London who Karen interviewed, and they've been very, very lovely. I mean, you will see some pictures that they've taken. Karen organised this workshop where she visited the school a couple of times to learn more about the experience of young Bangladeshis and how it's different from their parents' generation, but also how it's different from young people, especially rural areas in Bangladesh, because Karen also had the opportunity to go to Bangladesh before she started the project. So just to tell you a little bit about the volunteers, who some of them will be coming up here. Some of them have stage fright, so they're not going to be joining us, but you will get to talk to them. They're sitting around here somewhere. I can't see because it's a bit dark. But the reason, I mean, what I felt from working with the volunteers, and these volunteers come from different backgrounds, different professional backgrounds. Some are students, some are writers, some are photographers, and one thing they all had in common was the passion to, excuse me, the passion to challenge the stereotypes and challenge the narrative that unfortunately is results in certain prejudices, reinforces certain stereotypes. So that was something really wonderful. And I've also learned a lot. I come from a South Asian background. Even within South Asia, I have very little knowledge about, especially northwestern provinces, but other parts as well. And I've learned so much about Central Asia, Southeast Asia. There's a wonderful article by Gregory about Thai community. And because of this project, I was able to visit the temple, the Thai Buddhist temple in Wimbledon, which I recommend that you all visit. It's beautiful. So it was a wonderful experience for me, and I hope that you also get to enjoy this book. I also want to thank Rich Mix. Rich Mix provided us with the space to do the meeting, to do the training. This venue is also sponsored by Rich Mix. If you don't know, Rich Mix is currently doing a campaign to save from being closed. So if you go on Twitter and do hashtag Rich Mix Matters, you'll find the link to sign a petition to save Rich Mix from closing. It's a very important venue for us. Anyone who's doing community project, any artist out there who's trying to experiment new things, this is a community venue, a community hub, so we can't let it close down. So please sign the petition. I also want to thank the volunteers, the contributors, who had to deal with my constant phone calls, my emails. Without them, this book would not have been possible. So thank you so much, Halima, Fatima over there, for signing people in. I've got Katalsi, Karen somewhere, I've got Gregory, Mahmood, they're all here. I've got Ahmed also taking pictures. So thank you to all of you guys. It would not have been possible without you. Priyanka Basu, who's actually written an article about Bengali culture, Bengali folk music. Unfortunately, she isn't here today. She's gone off to America, but she's done a wonderful work where she's done research on how the Bengali folk culture has changed as a result of the changing environment. So you get a different flavour in the book, so I really hope you enjoy it. I also want to thank Farah. Farah has actually advised me to also explore beyond London, and I managed to get hold of Humans of Peshawar. And Farah's going to give you a little bit of information about Humans of Peshawar and why it was important for us to actually have them in the book. And meanwhile, can I ask the contributors who are feeling comfortable coming on stage to just come along, because it's really important for everyone to engage with you and get to see your face. So Halima, Fatima, Katalsi, I know you didn't want to come up. If you could come, Ahmed, Mahmood, Karen, I know you don't want to come, but if you could, that'd be great. Come on, guys. Rubia. Thank you. I forgot to mention Ruby actually, so thank you Ruby, who's done a wonderful article about Pashtun in London where she interviewed Akhil. So Ruby, there she is. Can I have a big round of applause for everyone, please?
Just before we hear a bit from the other contributors, there's one, as Frida mentioned, who wasn't able to be here today simply because of time and space. All the way from Peshawar in Pakistan, the Humans of Peshawar project, inspired by, I think it was Humans of New York, has brought us some wonderful images of Pakistan, which actually nobody really gets to see very often. It's a place often associated with terrorism and atrocity. And the Humans of Peshawar project gives us a window into the lives of ordinary Pakistanis, especially Pakhtun people, from a beautiful place who live under a lot of pressure every day. So please join me in sending some love from London to Peshawar with some applause.
Thanks, Farah. And for you who don't know Farah is a very good friend of mine. She's actually a Nuhud scholar at SOAS, and she's also doing a wonderful PhD on Muslim integration and spirituality. So if you want to ask her questions later on, there she is. But I know, first of all, thank you so much. I wanted to bring you all on stage to just show you how grateful I am for all your hard work. So, and they have been exceptionally patient with me because I've sent them emails, text messages at the most weirdest hours. So thank you for that. And the articles are amazing. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys to just explain a little bit about the article and why you've written it, and you all have 2 minutes each. So Rubia, if you come here please.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I mean, I suppose I was inspired to get involved because I'm quite passionate about migrant communities in London, and as Amadullah mentioned, that London is changing. And I come from a Pakistani background, and as many people know, Pakistan's been involved in much of the recent war against terror that's been waging on. And my interest was really to look at the northwest frontier and the area surrounding that, and to come up with stories from that region that many people don't often know about, and the links that Britain has with that region as well, and the people who have been coming for many years, not just from my parents' time, but even now, the new communities that are coming from the country and from that region. So it's more an exploration of Pashtun culture and of individual stories, and also the link between Britain and that region, the history of conflict, and Akil, who's just a new arrival to the UK, has only been here for a year, but his grandfather was actually part of the British Army as well, and I think a lot of people don't realise just how many Pakistanis grandparents and great-grandparents were actually part of the British Army, and the history of that, and I wanted to reflect on that as well. So that was partly my reason for getting involved, and also finding out more myself about that region and that community as well.
Hello Londoners, my name is Mahmoud Chaudhry. I chose a topic called Eritrean community. I myself is a very international citizen. It's because I was born in Japan to Bangladeshi parents, lived there for the first 6 years of my life, went to American school in Tokyo, and did my British curriculum education in Bangladesh. I finished my GCSEs in Dubai, and now I'm here in London. Now, the reason I'm choose a topic is because when I was in Dubai, like I was in high school, I was talking about the history lessons. We were talking about the federalization of Eritrean after the Second World War, and that has struck me a bit, but I didn't make more interest. Afterwards, when I was working in Starbucks in Harrods for the last 8 years, I came across an Eritrean lady. We spoke about the journey of coffee beans that came from Ethiopia using Port Adulis and to the contact of traders that came to London in 1600s. That's how we came to know about the coffee. That's the reason why I thought, okay, let me hint to it. And then the first few weeks, I had a very disturbance. I wasn't even sure what kind of inspiration I should get. So one moment I took listening music from Ben Jallis about the movie soundtrack of Alexander, and then later on I decided, okay, let's kick for it and do it for the Eritrean community. Because the reason is because Eritrea is very diverse, very rich culture, and I tried to think, okay, let's promote this in community cohesion, and that's the reason why I chose this topic. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Katasi Kironde, and my background is Ugandan, and I chose to write about hybrid food and identity. And being Ugandan and growing up in London, whenever people would ask where I was from, I'd say Uganda, and the response was always, oh, Idi Amin. And this project gave me a space to explore the relations between South Asian Ugandans and indigenous Ugandans by looking at food. And having grown up in between Uganda and here, I've sort of seen the influences of Asian colonial practices, from samosas to chapatis to curries, and I explore that in my article. And also looking at, I was keen to sort of see what Asians took from Uganda and into the diaspora in London. So from sort of eating things like cassava and matoke, which are Ugandan vegetables, my article sort of looks at identity and culture and seeing how food is actually quite uniting, and it gave me a chance to look at how we interact with one another beyond the stereotype of Idi Amin and the Exodus. Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed. I'd like to thank Dr. Mohammed Ahmedullah for this initiative and Farida for her hard work, and everyone here for attending today. I must say I've got a phobia against mics. I get very stage fright, so bear with me if I stumble on my words and make a lot of mistakes. Because my heart's like pounding. I don't know how much. Okay, sorry? Yeah. So deep. That's good actually, thank you. I wrote a chapter on Morocco. Has anyone been to Morocco yet? Okay. Is anyone from Morocco? This is the irony of it. I mean, the community, Morocco is such a visited place, but very few people know Moroccans, or they don't have a big community here. And I found that quite ironic. This is why I wanted to focus on Morocco, especially because I'm an artist, and I find whenever I go to Morocco, I get really dazzled by all the architecture and all the artwork on the tiles, the interior deco. It's really amazing, where you can see all the Islamic geometric patterns. This is what fascinated me, and so I chose to write about this. So if you read it, you'll find out more about the different arts and architecture that is there. So you find a lot of artists go over there just to get inspiration, and a lot of Islamic art is based on harmony rather than sort of abstract and disharmony. So this is what I find fascinating about Islamic art, and wherever I find it, I travel there. I kind of I take note of it. I make use of it. So please do read my chapter as well, and enjoy reading everyone else's work as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Halima Khanum. I decided to explore the local Jewish East End history in my article. I was born in East London, raised in East London. I'm from a Bangladeshi background. And I guess this project was a real opportunity for me to just go back and explore a part of East End history that I haven't had the chance to explore otherwise. I'm really interested in mapping, so I took this opportunity to really map out the Jewish East End through food. So I encourage you to try out the map, see if it works, see if you get lost, and try out some of the sort of interesting traces of Jewish East End that are still left behind. Thank you.
I'm very happy to do the Thai thing. And to be honest, at first I didn't really know what I'm going to do. I still remember in the first meeting, everybody is going to have their own race, own minority that they want to explore. But luckily, I'm from SOAS, which is the class. So the good thing about studying in this kind of school, which majority of people is from minority, they have a good international background, and I come across with several friends from Thai, and okay, then I think okay, I'm going to do Thai, but the good thing about this project is like throughout the whole process, like in your process of research and in interview, it sort of lead you to a place and lead you to some of the some of the experience that you never have dreamed. You never have dreamed of going to explore. And for example, the Thai temple is in Wimbledon. I mean, before this project, I definitely had no clue. Well, in London, you sort of had this sort of exotic, not exotic. I mean, I come from there. but it's something which also sort of tell us about London is a place which is really multicultural, and I think of course this is the reason why we're all here, and this is it.
And I'd like to thank 5 remarkable young women, Ria Nushaiba, Sarah, who's can't be here tonight, Tahia, and Zara. And have I forgotten anybody? That's 5. That's 5. I've remembered everybody. These are 5 girls who went home and pestered their parents, particularly their mothers and grandmothers, to find out more about the family's journey from Bangladesh to Britain, and the opportunities, the contrast between the opportunities that women had in decades gone by and the opportunities that these girls now have in London. They are wonderful children, they are amazing, and I just hope that in the future they find themselves free from prejudice and have the opportunity to realise all their dreams. Thank you.
So guys, we have a couple of minutes for questions. Does anybody have any questions about the book or the project, or want to know more? Anyone? Yes? Mic's coming. Can we get you to stand up so everyone can see? Okay. Go on, please.
Yes, I have to stand and we get nervous too. But it's wonderful to hear all of your brilliant experience in entering this project. But I'm really curious to know, what did you learn about yourself the most in this exploration, this journey of when you were delivering, your journey into seeking other cultures? So I'm interested in knowing about yourself. Is there anything that surprised you that you learned about yourself, basically?
Are you asking generally, or are you asking
to anybody?
Okay. Let's take it. Should I choose? I think I should choose, right?
I think generally it was really fascinating for me to even get to know about this project, because human beings come from all walks of life, from the Far East to the Far West. And people are of very different backgrounds and have very different tastes and very different cultures. And this is what I found fascinating about this project, because I got to explore. Although I focused on Morocco, but it did open my mind and eyes up to other cultures. And I think we should give ourselves a round of applause for being Londoners, because London it's a melting pot of different cultures, and this is what epitomizes multiculturalism. Here we find people from all walks of life and from different colours and from different backgrounds. This is the beauty of being a Londoner. You don't have to travel the world. You can see people from all over the world just in this room. So personally, this is what I find very interesting. So hopefully I'll build up on this and I'll do further research on other communities and broaden my mind even more.
I have space for 2 more questions. Anybody got some questions? No? Last chance. Okay, so can we put your hands together to say thank you to all the contributors? Thank you.
I just want to say one more thing. The book cover was also a beautiful artwork carried out by someone who also came here 2 years ago from Lithuania, a very good friend of mine, Akvile. So thank you so much for that. Akvile, Zeus, and also Edward. Yes, Edward has done wonderful illustration, which you'll see inside. So it was a product of multiple talents, of various different communities who are actually living in London. But this is, and it kind of epitomizes the multicultural London that we live in. So thank you to Akvile and everyone. Thank you once again.
They were pretty good considering nobody prepared them, right? Okay, time for some entertainment. I'm gonna ask you all to put your hands together for the hilariously brilliant Patrick Monahan.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's me! Yeah! Here we go! Thank you very much. Thank you. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, can we give a big round of applause for the guys these four? They're fantastic. All the guys here, amazing. Well, and the people who put the food on, ladies and gentlemen, free food in London. Unbelievable. Look at this, the people with the bags. You make sure you take some food home with you. That'd be amazing. It's lovely to be here. What I normally do when I do a show, I always like to start off with some traditional music, a little bit of dancing, and we can do that either at the start or the end. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll break it up. We'll do a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, because this is a multicultural festival, I'm gonna drop some Persian music. Have we got any Persian people in? Where's the Persians? Where we got? Half Persian, where? Oh, get back up here. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a round of applause. This is amazing. Salam alaikum. Okay, fantastic. What we do, before we do anything, I'm going to quickly explain who I am first, because you probably will get a bit confused. My mum is Iranian, so you're going to play my mum, and we'll do a celebration in a second. My dad is Irish. Now, where are the Irish? There's loads of Irish here. Where are they? Come on, get up here. Here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, he looks exactly like my dad. Look at this guy here. Look at this.
Come on, Belfast, come around. And by the way, I am your dad.
Oh my God! It's been years, right? Dad, wait there. This is going to be amazing. So, just thought, this is mum and dad. I'll be honest with you, they're never this comfortable either at home. This is mum and dad. We're going to do a little bit of Persian dancing in a second. We'll sort that out for you. It'll be fantastic. Just let me explain where else what's happening. So, and we got to hear about everyone's fantastic stories. It was great, people from around the world. My mum is Iranian, my dad is Irish, and they came over and I grew up in Teesside in Middlesbrough. Where's the Teesside at? Right, get up here, come on. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. It's taken me years to find the family. This is another one of my family. Look at this, come here. There we go, get up here. Look at that, look at this. How are you? You're going to go for a party? Oh my goodness. You will not believe it. This is what I used to look like when I was at school, when I was 15, before I shaved. Mum and dad, look at dad, look at this. How are you, brother? Good luck. And do you know what is amazing, right? It's amazing that you just said to me, you're in Borough, and whenever you say it to people always go, oh my God, so your mum's Irish and your dad's Iranian, they go, oh, that must be amazing. You must love travelling the world. And I say, not really, we spend most of our family holidays in customs. Because with an Irish passport or Iranian passport, people always think the same thing, don't they? If you tell me you're Irish Iranian, grew up in Middlesbrough, Teesside, people go, oh my God, that is the axis of evil. That is three unstable republics. From the Islamic Republic of Iran fighting Westernization, you've got the Republic of Ireland fighting for unity, and you've got the Republic of Middlesbrough fighting. No reason whatsoever. And it was amazing because I was actually born in Avos in Iran, which is you know Avos. Kujho to hasti to Iran, kujho mekhonad. You don't speak any Farsi. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. Leave it more. Now, what she did. Chitori out. Let me say Farsi. Chitori. You don't speak. How come? There you go. So speak to me in the past, right? And this is what happened. We were, as kids, we grew up and we were in Avos, in the west of Iran. And it's a lovely place, don't get me wrong, but amazing. Back then it was very traditional, very old-fashioned. You had that sort of, how do you say the term? You know, like, I've got brothers and sisters, and when a boy was born, when I was born, it was amazing. In the hospital, they go crazy. They go, yeah, this voice was going, Yepasala, Yepasala, Yepasala. It's like Lion King. They're all going, Yepasala, Yepasala. Yepasala means it's a boy, it's a boy. They're going crazy. The whole hospital is celebrating. They're going, Yepasala, Yepasala. It's a boy, it's a boy. What is his name? What is it? Muhammad, is it Muhammad? No, no. Abdullah? No, no, no. Simba? No, 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 no. Patrick! 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 Here's Patrick. And they go, Patrick! And I go, yeah, his dad is more of an Irish Romeo. And they would celebrate, and they would take a lamb, right? Your uncle would go outside, take a lamb, and he would sacrifice a lamb on the steps of the hospital in Avos, and they would celebrate. They do a barbecue for everyone to celebrate, and it was amazing. One of the best things you could do, right? When my sister was born, very different for women. They whisper, yeah, doctor. Is that the time? I still do. And it was terrible. It was terrible back then. But then now it's nice. It's got more. It's very more. It's more Westernized. Look at it. Look at it. You've got a beautiful family here, a mixture of Irish Iranians and a lovely child here from Middlesbrough. Fantastic. My mum spoke 5 languages. Now the problem with our mum was that, and this is the problem with the Middle East at the moment, is that no one is just one place. My mum is from Avos, which is in the west of Iran, but her mum is an Iraqi. Now, have we got any Iraqis in? Where are the Iraqis? Right, get up here. Okay, let's have a round of applause for my nana. So, Nan, this is my nan. Nan, you've changed. Come up here, Nan. So anyway, so if we shuffle along here, so hey, poor lad, mum, dad, nana, چطوری خوبی؟ خوب خیلی متشکرم. خیلی من تو فارسی هم میزنی چرا؟ تو فارسی. خب, very good, okay.
Talk about yourself.
Talk amongst ourselves, okay. We've got the Secret Service in. She's listening in quietly. And it was amazing, there's no one happening in our house. When we were growing up, we'd have our nan who would speak Arabic, right in there. We'd have our dad who would speak top of the morning to you. He would answer top of the morning. Every conversation would start with a song. Top of the morning. Farsi, and then Sons, a little bit of Northern in our house. It was amazing. We would have Arabic speaking, you'd have Farsi, Iranian, English, all speaking in the house. And everyone understood each other. It was amazing. Our dad would understand what they say. Our mum would speak Farsi to him, he would speak English back. We'd all chat along, he'd speak Arabic to them, he'd speak English back. It was amazing. Everyone loved it except for our dog. Totally confused, didn't know what was happening. And it was in there in the house, and our mum would speak different languages. Now the problem was in 1980, the reason why they left Iran was because what happened was Iran and Iraq, there was after the revolution in 79, there was the war where Iraq invaded Iran, and it all kicked off, and it was chaos then. And the neighbours hated us because they were like, every time they didn't know what was happening, sometimes they'd be shouting, the Iraqis are coming, the Iraqis, and we were probably thinking what Saddam Hussein's men. No, it was our cousins with our nana. So we came up to Teesside, and it was brilliant. And here was the whole family, they came to Teesside, fantastic. 5 languages. 5 languages. Speak what? How many languages? 2. Don't say what they are, speak them, and whoever can guess will win a prize. You will win a house in Shoreditch. Here we go. So just do the traditional greetings for the first one. Marhaba shalom. Marhaba shalom.
Arabic.
Arabic, well done. Do you speak Arabic? Yeah, so you're cheating. Okay. It's not your fault. I should have actually said unless you can't speak this language. Well done, you've won a house. Where do you want it? Bethnal Green or? Bethnal Green, good, because it's what? It's more upper class in Shoreditch. Good, I like what you're doing. Keep the prices. Good, okay. Right, fantastic. And Belfast, okay, you do a couple of languages. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take you some.
Punjabi. And what languages do you speak? pushed up Punjabi, and thinking, so you're cheating as well. Okay. We know Farsi, we know Borough as well. Oh, actually, what? Fancy having some tatties. Where's that from? Go on, here we go, yeah. Up north. Geordie, good, almost Geordie, okay, almost. Up in Teesside, so it's fantastic. Lovely, right? Now this is a great thing about, right? So, it's a what? Coronation Street, well done. That's the other side, that's northwest, but I'm going to give you half a house. It's in Leffield, right? And the family are great, always great, fantastic. This is the thing. What was great about growing up in an Irish Iranian with a slightly Iraqi Persian background was great because what we do every Christmas we get 2 celebrations, right? So, and you get different festivals. We used to do Ramadan, we used to do Christmas, Easter, Eid, Nowruz. It was fantastic. I was getting 211 days off school a year just for festivals. And what we do is Christmas, and sometimes the calendars will clash. You get Ramadan would be at the same time as Christmas. Now, I don't know, some people would know what Ramadan is. I don't know. Does everyone know what Ramadan is? Ramadan. Basically, it's where you save money for a month. It's fantastic. And what we do is, so the house was split up. If we're going to do, so let's put the house as it's Christmas. So we would do Christmas in one room and Ramadan in the other room. So you'd be in one room there. So if you're there, Dad, you're in this room here, getting hammered. Okay, you're here. And what we do is, right, and this is the bit, we're going to do the music now for this bit. This is the bit where we'll finish with a big musical finish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you all coming. You're going to be cheating at this because you'll actually be quite good at this. I'm going to ask you to do some borough dancing, and then you're going to throw in some Irish moves. Okay? You're just going to break dance. So I want you to break in, spin, 6-step, and then turn it around. It'll be fantastic. This is probably going to be one of the highlights of the festival you're ever going to see, ladies and gentlemen. My Iraqi nan break dancing. Right? She's not done any dancing since the operation. Right? She used to be a woman. Right? It's going to be great. And we'd always do this every Christmas. We'd go in, and then you'd come in here. So you'd come in here like this, and you'd celebrate Christmas here. They'd be drinking whatever, they're having food. It'd be fantastic, it'd be great. And they'd be going, all right there, Patrick, how you doing? They're drinking there, they're dancing. There you go, fantastic. You'd be drinking there. There you go, lovely Christmas. And we were always like this, confused, not knowing what was happening. And then we'd love it, we'd have a drink, and then we'd go around, I love to drink and eat, and we'd go with our Muslim family here and just sleep for a bit and just rest. Then we'd come back in here, and we'd take our presents and go, have you got any presents for us? I'd say, I'm not sure, we're a Muslim, so we'll go back in here. And you'd carry on doing that, but then what was great was music would bring everyone together, and we'd all dance together, which is what we're going to finish with now. So what we're going to do is, if you four follow what I do, dead easy, and then we're going to switch the styles, and then we'll mix it all up first. Is that okay? And then we're going to finish with the borough. Okay. So, my DJ, fantastic. What I want you all to do here, ladies and gentlemen, it's the last thing I'm going to do. So if you can all do clapping and just going crazy, grab some food, grab it and just shake it in the air like. Right? Okay, so we'll do that. So is everyone ready? Everyone here, this side as well. I can see you guys here all raring to go. Right, are we ready? Okay, so as soon as track number 1 comes in, everyone start clapping and dancing. So here we go, and then you four follow me and we'll do it together. So here we go. Track number 1, here we go, thank you. finish with freestyle. Here we go. I'll be on YouTube. Here we go. Freestyle. Here we go. Right. Take it away. Look at talent, so look at it. Look at how we move. Here we go. Bring it home to the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to support the festival. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, love it. Ladies and gentlemen, me, Brian, 1998. Thank you very much, have a great festival, have yourself to pause, take any furniture, anything you want. So yours, thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick Manhan. I can safely say that was not pre-planned. You guys have 5 minutes, take a break, we need to set up the stage. If you need to use the facilities, grab some food, grab a book, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Also, please help yourself with some drinks. Rich Mix has given this venue for free, so please support them by buying some drinks. Thank you. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Enjoyed the first half, how was it? Great. Brilliant. We've got some musical performances coming up now. We're going to kick it all off with some Central Asian music now with the London Yoga Ensemble. So can I ask them to come up? And can I get some applause for them, please?
Right, it's really lovely to be here. Thank you very much to Farida for inviting us. We are the London Uyghur Ensemble. We're quite a multi-ethnic group actually. Just 3 of us here tonight, but we have dancers and a few more instrumentalists. And we play the music of the Uyghur people who come from Central Asia, well, from northwest China, but they are a Central Asian people. They're Muslims, they speak a language that is really very close to Turkish. There's a very small community in London, maybe just 300 or 400 people, and so we don't find that many people have heard of the Uyghurs. But so it's great to find that we've got a little mention in this lovely book. It talks about Uyghur food, which is very excellent. The Silk Road restaurant down in Camberwell is not bad at all, so do check that out. So we've just got a short slot. There was some fantastic laughing with that wonderful dancing just now. I think it's our job to try and make you cry. Uyghur music is very emotional stuff. It's all about loss and longing. And so our first song is called Khet Yazmay. You don't need to write a letter, just come. So it's missing the beloved who is far away. Thank you very much. And our singer is Rahima Mahmood, all the way from East Turkestan, from the town of Burja. So for our second song, then, we want to play a bit from the Mukam. This area has also a kind of Makam tradition. And this music set's a kind of poetry that I really love. It's Central Asian Sufi poetry. And so the lyrics of this song, they talk about everything being turned upside down. So Rahima will sing, the fish in the river start chasing the river snakes, and the sheep march in front of the horses, and all the wild beasts sing Allah in their hearts.
you
her biri ziyel günden Kaysın binti yayre Gitti kor sen yayre Kaçan kirli sen yayre Kaçan kirli sen yayre Sen giymiş gülüm Sen bir köpte yayre Sen giymiş gülüm Sen bir köpte yayre Ben de zaten yayre Bari sen diye yayre Bari sen diye yayre Sen giymiş gülüm Sen bir köpte yayre Sen giymiş gülüm Sen bir köpte yayre Beni sen harap Diyen beni sen Sen beni sen harap Diyen beni sen Hatta seni karabattır Beni sen Hatta seni karabattır Beni sen Sen beni sen Sen öldüremedin sen beni sen öldüremedin Başıma her bala götüremedin sen Başıma her bala götüremedin sen Beni yanabilir çıllanıp olabilir Beni yanabilir çıllanıp olabilir Attan gidiyorum, Attan gidiyorum, Gülle biçsi, topalar feryat Gülle biçsi, topalar feryat Hayvancılığı da olmamış oldum Hayvancılığı da olmamış oldum
I don't know about you guys, but that certainly touched my heart. Thank you so much. So next, straight into our next act. We have ACD art specialists in African art.
We can have this briefing council, we can have a before I and I'll get
a taster, with percussion. Now we're gonna go a little bit more low key on the xylophone and then sing for you. What we've just done is a bit of percussion, and it's normally dance. It's normally quite a few of us on stage. Today it's only 2 of us. There's some girls as well, but obviously today we decided to be 2 of us. Hopefully next time, in another event, there will be more of us around. So the piece we just done is some carnival drumming from the eastern part of Uganda, western Kenya. And these people, it's a circumcision dance. I don't think we've got any children in here. Normally, let's say about circumcision. The next one, on the xylophone, this is an African keyboard, we call it. Xylophone, very melodic. This was probably from central part of Uganda. From people called Baganda, who speak Uganda. Hope you enjoy it. Thank If you're wondering what this song means, it means we should have more to drink. But it's a drink that people always ask for more. They never satisfy. It's not water. This one is called myriads, music from myriads. And again, you're going to tour, you're going to tour. This one is from the western part of Uganda. These people, they're very lyrical, so I hope you're going to feel it a bit more. Come together. And they're very romantic, so while I come to dance, I might have to, take the chance to invite someone on stage and get a little bit, romantic in an African way.
How did you guys find that? So my mic has been taken away. We've got one last microphone left, and we are going to have Dr. Ace Willoughby, and he's going to be performing an Indian classical dance for us. He is a disciple of the non-Indian Chakravarti. And I'm going to say this wrong, so he's going to have to forgive me. And also, symmetry, so put your hands together, please, for Enza.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, Namaste, Namaskaram. I'm going to be performing Bharatanatyam, which is a classical dance from southern India, from Tamil Nadu. There are 8 official Indian classical dances, this is just one of them. I am a student of Srimati Tankamanikutti in Kolkata, India. So this is going to be Kalamandalam style Bharatanatyam in the Tanjavur school. And I'm going to be performing 2 items. The first one is the Shiva Panchakshara Stotram, which is based on the 5 sounds of Lord Shiva, Nama Shivaya. And then the second item is the Shivashtakam, which is a well-known Hindu devotional piece on the different aspects of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also called Shiva Nataraja. He is the Lord of the dance. And as Indian classical dancers, we all worship him for what he's brought to our lives as dancers. So, thank you very much.
Thanks for waiting.